Hi all, in this video we are going to be using trigonometric functions to find unknown sides of a right triangle. So here are the definitions of the trig functions. Those are to memorize. Sine of an angle is a ratio of opposite side to the angle over the hypotenuse. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, which is hypotenuse divided by the opposite side. Cosine is the adjacent side to the angle divided by hypotenuse. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, which is hypotenuse divided by adjacent side. And tangent is the opposite side to the angle divided by adjacent side to the angle. And cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent function, which is adjacent side divided by the opposite side. In this problem, we have to find unknown sides x and y to the nearest 1,000. We have angle of 43 degrees and we have the opposite side to the angle, which is equal to 8. One of the trig functions that's using opposite side to the angle is the sine of an angle equals to opposite side divided by hypotenuse. It is up to you to choose which function to use. However, you want to substitute in such a way that you only have one unknown. And most of the scientific calculators have easy access to sine, cosine, and tangent, while reciprocals are not as easily available. So let's substitute. We have sine, we know the angle is 43 degrees, equals to opposite side, which is 8, divided by hypotenuse, and in this case hypotenuse is labeled as y. Sine of 43 degrees is just some sort of decimal that you will get from your calculator, so all you have to do now is to solve for y. Y is in the denominator, and the way of getting it out of denominator is to multiply by y. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you want to do the same thing to both sides to preserve equality. Y divided by y cancels out, and we are left with y times sine of 43 degrees equals to 8. We are still solving for y, and y is being multiplied by sine of 43. The opposite is to divide by sine of 43 degrees. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. Sine of 43 degrees goes into the denominator. Sine of 43 divided by itself cancels out into 1. So you will have y equals to, and in your scientific calculator you want to put 8 divided by sine of 43 degrees. Make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. So y is approximately equal to 11.73023, and it keeps on going. We have to round it off to the nearest thousandth. We have 3 decimal places here. You look at the number to the left of it, which is 2, and it's less than 5. So we just drop everything after the 0. So y rounds off to 11.730. You can write down 0, but you don't have to. This is a part of our solution. We also need to solve for x. We still have the angle, we have the opposite side, and x is the adjacent side. I am going to use tangent of an angle equals to opposite side divided by adjacent side. So let's substitute and solve. We have tangent of 43 degrees equals to opposite side is 8. out of adjacent side is x. We don't know what it is. X is in the denominator, so to get it out of there, I'm going to multiply by x. Whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. X and x will cancel on the right, and we have x times tangent of 43 degrees equals to 8. X is being multiplied by tangent. The opposite is to divide by tangent of 43 degrees. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you want to do the same thing to the other side. Tangent of 43 degrees. Tangent and tangent cancel on the left, and we are left with x equals to 8 divided by tangent of 43 degrees. This is what you put into your calculator. So we get x is approximately 7.4601. Once again, we are rounding off to the thousandths, which will be a third decimal place. I take a look at the number to the right of it. If it's 5 or more, you want to add 1 to your place, but it's less than 5. So we are just going to cut this down at 0, and we get x is equal to 7.460. And this is second solution. Here we have to find unknown sides x and y again. However, the location of the given side is different. The given side is adjacent to the angle of 25 degrees. So I'm going to use cosine of an angle equals to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So we get cosine of 25 degrees equals to adjacent side is 5 divided by hypotenuse is x. So let's get the x out of the denominator by multiplying by x. Whatever you do to one side, you do the same thing to the other side. X and x will cancel. So we have x times cosine 25 degrees equals to 5. X is being multiplied by cosine of 25. The opposite is to divide by cosine of 25 degrees. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So cosines cancel, and we are left with x equals to 5 divided by cosine of 25 degrees. So x is approximately 5.516889. We are rounding off to the nearest thousandths, so 3 decimal places here. You look at the number to the right of it. If it's 5 or more, we need to add 1, and in this case we have an 8, so we will add 1 to our rounding off place, and our solution will be 5.517 for x, and we still need to solve for y. Now y is the opposite side from the adjacent, so we have opposite, adjacent, and an angle, and the function that utilizes all three of them is tangent of an angle is the opposite side divided by adjacent side. We have tangent of 25 degrees equals to opposite side would be y divided by adjacent side, which is 5. We are solving for y, and y is being divided by 5. The opposite would be to multiply by 5. Whatever you do to one side, you do the same thing to the other side. 5 and 5 will cancel, and we have 5 times tangent of 25 degrees equals to y. So on your calculator, plug in 5 times tangent of 25 degrees, and I get y is roughly 2.2 3, 3, 1, 5, 3, 8, and it keeps on going. We need to round off to the nearest thousandth, which is 3 decimal places, so we're going to cut off here. You look at the number to the right of it, and if it's 5 or more, we need to add 1. So it is 5, so we're going to add 1 to our cutting off place, and our solution for y would be 2.332. Here we have to find unknown sides x and y to the nearest thousandths, and we are given the angle of 38 degrees and the hypotenuse of 7. So let's do sine of an angle equals to opposite divided by hypotenuse. So sine of 38 degrees equals to opposite side is x, hypotenuse is 7. We are solving for x and it's being divided by 7. The opposite is to multiply by 7. Whatever you do to one side, you need to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. 7 and 7 will cancel, so we have 7 times sine of 38 degrees equals to x. On your calculator, you plug in 7 times sine of 38 degrees, and I get x is roughly 4.30963, and it keeps on going. So I am rounding off to 3 decimal places, which is here. We are stopping at 9. We look at the number to the right of it, which is 6. It is more than 5, so we're going to add 1 to our cutting off place. So we get x is equal to 4.3. 1 plus 9 gives us a 10. And this is our solution for x. Let's do y. So y is the adjacent side, so we're going to use cosine of an angle equals to adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Let's substitute and solve for y. We have cosine of 38 degrees equals to adjacent side is y, hypotenuse is 7. We are solving for y and it's being divided by 7. The opposite is to multiply by 7. Whatever you do to one side, you want to do the same thing to the other side. 7 and 7 cancel, and we have 7 cosine of 38 degrees equals to y. This is when your scientific calculator comes in handy, because you want to put 7 times cosine of 38, and I get roughly 5.516075 but since we only need 3 decimal places, I'm going to stop now. So the nearest thousandth is right after 6. We look at the number to the right of it, and it's a 0, which is less than 5, so we don't need to do anything. Thus 5.516 is our solution for y. That's all.